Hello guys, it's Ryan here with HobbiesofaMan once again, and today we're going to be doing another Thundercats review. We're going to be looking at issue number 7 by Declan Shalvey with Drew Moss as the artist, with Martino Pignedoli as the inker, I think, and Jeff Eckelberry as the letterer. And this is a pretty interesting issue. It continues on from last time where it focuses on other characters. It doesn't focus on Lionel. It's kind of expanding the world to get ready to a larger conflict, I guess. Which is interesting, but that means that, I was kind of right. The first 6 issues were not a single arc. This is all a continuing arc, right? There isn't really much going on in terms of big, massive storyline yet. It's all a lot of setup. And Declan Shalvey's actually very happy about this. This is what he wants to do. He wants to create the setup. He wants to expand all of this to give you more context. And I am liking it. I think this is good, but it's probably going to read much better via trades than it is reading right now as single issues, because I'm enjoying every issue, but I feel like sometimes there is a bit of a missing element to the issue, which is a little bit of action. And I'm enjoying that the narrative is taking its time, but it feels a little bit too decompressed. And I think that maybe the way to fix this would be to make these issues bigger, but that's not really possible because that's not how comic books work, right? And so maybe releasing them sooner would be better, but then you're making it so that people have to spend more money than they really are willing to, and that's also a problem. And so I think that they're doing the best they can with the format, but it's probably better to read this via trades, because you might not feel that it's good, issue to issue. And I'm saying this as someone that is enjoying it. I'm just thinking about the larger landscape of comic book readers. I'm sure that we're going to start to see a lot of drop off for this series soon, if we haven't already. I'm sure that there has been some drop off, but I feel like there's going to be more of it going forward because it doesn't feel like too much is happening, right? If you compare this to Transformers, it feels like every issue something crazy is happening in Transformers, and I can't say that that's the same here. I'm still enjoying it, like I said, but it's a bit of a different type of storytelling. And I'm sure that there will be a great payoff eventually, but it doesn't seem like it's near yet, right? So I'm curious about that. I'm curious what other people think about this, concept, right? Is it too slow? Is it too fast? Do you think that there needs to be more things going on, right? I don't know. So this issue opens up with the kiddos trying to leave, and Lionel gets mad at them, and so they go off anyways because Lionel is also a cub in their eyes. Weeks ago he was the same age as them. There is no reason for him to act like an adult now, except that he is, right? And so we get to see them talk about the anger that Lionel is going to feel as they surf away, as they go into this flashback, which is just basically what I just said. The kids head out to the forest. Lionel calls to them. He's like, "Hey, Cubs, where are you guys going? Come back." And the kids are like, "Dude, we don't need to answer you. You're the same age as us. Go away. We're going to go." And Lionel's like, "No, you have to follow my orders. I am the Lord of the Thundercats. You have to do what I say." They don't listen anyways, and they leave. Then we come back to the current timeline where they're still surfing away. They keep going. They're out having fun on their boards, and then suddenly something catches their attention. They get stuck. Their board crashes, and then they go flying off into this deep underground area. They find this ominous pyramid that is pretty scary looking, and I thought it was cool. I'm sure it was Mumra's at the beginning of when I was reading this, and it turns out that was the case. But before we get around to that, we had to go back to the base, where we get to see that Chitara is by Tigra's bedside. She's talking to him, and eventually he manages to wake up, and he's like, "You should have just asked for me to wake up, and I would," because there is that romance between them that I don't remember from the original series, but I definitely remember from the second series that came out. And then we get to see that Lionel and Panthro are having a father-son kind of situation where they're working on their car, right? They're working on the Thunder Tank, and it's pretty fun. I like that. I think it's nice to kind of have the characters be like this family and do family type activities, right? Then we come back to the kids. They're elsewhere. We don't know exactly where, and we get to see that the kids aren't really the main focus here because we're focusing on this guy who looks like a baboon, and it's called a babu. And he sees them from afar. He sees them go into the pyramid, and then he leaves, and he goes back to talk to the Monkeyan and to Slythe, about what he saw, about what these kids are doing. And then we come back to the kids. The kids are feeling really, really weak right now after one of them falls into a trap. The other one actually feels really, really strong, and she's dashing around the pyramid trying to find her brother. Eventually, there's this psychic link between the two, and they connect with each other once again, and then they see Mumra in front of them, sleeping as they kind of crawl around him, and they manage to escape and leave, and they're like, we are never telling anyone what we saw. Our powers are, you know, coming out finally. We're finally getting our powers, and it's something that we cannot mention right now because our powers are connected, and the reason why we found them is dangerous because of the fact that it was during Mumra's, like, while they were in Mumra's pyramid, right? And then they run away. The issue ends for them. We get to see that Slicemen were turned into zombies. Babu tells him this, and then he asks, you know, Slive, what the hell are you gonna do? All of your men are dead. You're a bad leader. And Slive just kills this guy. And Monkey eventually steps in, and he's like, well, you know, he's right, but I think we have a good way to do things, right? We're gonna have a plan. And Slive smiles at this, and he says he does have a plan, and then they confer together while we don't see this because the issue ended, right? So I'm very curious to see what happens next. I think that we do finally get some action going on here, but it might be time for a Tigra episode, or a Tigra issue next issue, right? So it'll probably happen after that, in issue 9. So I'm very curious to see how that's gonna go. I'm very excited to see what happens, but I am kind of worried that I'm gonna start to lose interest in this series if it takes as long as it's taking right now to get anywhere, right? So yeah, those are my thoughts on Thundercats number 7. Let me know what you guys thought down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and see you guys later.